Hey, welcome back to Happy Hour at Hops World. And this week we're going to talk about a hops that really gives credence to its name. That's right, friends. This week's tip number 112, Bitter Gold hops. Let's get right into it. Hey friends, glad you could be with me to talk about Bitter Gold hops. Well, the name is all you need to know. It's bitter, and the hops itself are a little lighter color, and the lupulin really gets a golden color when they're ripe. Bitter Gold was publicized in 1999, where anyone could buy the plant from the USDA, and growers and breeders, and they started planting around the country, and you can still get Bitter Gold today. It's not the hugest variety that's grown, but it is available in pellets usually. Sometimes you can get whole flower. But Bitter Gold was considered a super high alpha variety when it was first created, and the genetics of Bitter Gold are really complex, including Brewer's Gold, Bullion, two sisters, imagine that, Comet, and Fuggle. But the most interesting part is that Bitter Gold has alpha acids higher than all the rest of its parents and grandparents. Amazing, huh? Bitter Gold is really known as a bittering hop to be put in during the boil and in the beginning, but it's also possible to put it at the end of the boil to get some of them stone fruit flavors. I've heard people talk pear and even watermelon, so you can experiment with it. And Bitter Gold is also a great hops to make IPAs, English ales, Belgium ales, and even a bitter, English bitter. Well, of course, Bitter Gold, English bitter. All right, enough talking about Bitter Gold. Let's go out in the hops field and check out our Bitter Gold plant. So here we are in our experimental breeding hop yard, and we're with our Bitter Gold plant. She's definitely ready to pick these cones, but in general, the cones are more pale, all the color of gold. I mean, it has a really name that suits the hops. It's bittering, and it's more golden than the dark green or even medium green than you see. And as far as bittering, Bitter Gold has alpha acids between 15.4 and 18.8%. Here we always get over 16%. As far as beta acids, 6.1 to 8%. That's pretty high also. Oils, 0.8 to 3.6 milliliters per 100 grams. Over 3 is kicking you know what. As far as substitutes, if you can't find Bitter Gold for your recipe, you can use Nugget or Galena, the most common, but also Bullion and possibly Bramling Cross. As far as the type of beers that you can make with Bitter Gold hops, basically the ales, from English ale to Belgium ale to American Pale Ale to IPAs, also Pilsners and Lagers. I've seen recipes using this hops. Production wise, from 1650 to 1800 pounds per acre, I'd say medium. The HSI hop storage index, I'd say not so great, at 65% at 70 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 months. Spacing, a typical farm was going to be 12 to 14 feet in the row spacing, and 36 to 42 inches in between plants. You can see the side arms are only about 20 inches. The cones are from 1 to 1.5 inches. Typically, they're definitely round and pointy. And these are the most little heart-shaped cones that I've ever seen. Some pretty ones. I can find one that's not eaten by a bug. Definitely compact and pointy. and these are great for picking. A picker is going to clean these and they're going to roll down the dribble belts. Really nice. As far as using them in a beer, they don't give much flavors in the boil, but they give a lot of bitterness. But at the end of the boil, the dark fruits, the light pine, pear, and even watermelon flavors and aromas really come out. So this is a great dual use hops. And it's also great to use with other hops. I've seen recipes where they use up to 30%, 50% of this with Mosaic, with Cascade, even with Chinook, but you can experiment. And if you do, write a note in the comments if you've ever used Bitter Gold and how it works in your beer. So, without further ado, let's look at the plant from the top up to the wire. So here is our Bitter Gold plant. Up top's full of cones. It reached the top wire and then it came down on a higher trellis. It would definitely get up to 20 feet easily. It's got these really tight, compact cones, little heart shapes. They're really adorable. They're definitely ready to pick. Can't wait to make some beer. And the plant itself, especially when the sprouts are young, the leaves are definitely a lighter color than some of the other varieties. For example, next door is Nugget. Look at that. Look at Bitter Gold. So it has good reason for the name. The cones are definitely goldish and 15 to 18% bitterness. Down at the bottom, the stalks, they're definitely still green. I'd say they're medium diameter. We started with 3, but some snuck up on us. So that's our Bitter Gold plant out here in our experimental breeding hop yard. I can't wait to make some babies with this mommy. Well, what'd you think? Our Bitter Gold plant. It's definitely got bitterness on the alpha acid side, and the color, the lupulin inside, it's really golden. I hope you liked it, and I hope you give a thumbs up, support our channel, subscribe if you haven't already. Every week we're going to have a new variety of hops here at Happy Hour at Hops World. If you think of a variety you want me to write about and talk about, write in the comments below, okay? I'll see what I can do. Thanks for being with me, friends. Cheers to life.